Internet erupts after everyone sees Michelle Malkin shred Rachel Maddow live on national television. Conservative commentator Michelle Malkin shredded MSNBC host Rachel Maddow on Hannity, saying that the liberal hack delves so often into destroy Trump conspiracy theories, she is Reynolds Wrap's #1 customer. The tinfoil hat consumption is through the roof, Malkin said. I think that Rachel Maddow must be Reynolds Wrap's #1 customer, she said. I'll laugh my you-know-what off. Malkin and Sean Hannity recounted several incidents on Maddow's news program in which he tried to draw connections between President Trump and Russia, Fox News reported. Even Chris Matthews said it's dead, Hannity said. After discussing many of the times Maddow pushed the Trump-Russia conspiracy without offering real evidence, Malkin and Hannity went on to bash Rolling Stone magazine for recently naming Maddow the most trusted name in news, quote, which the duo said proves the left lives in an echo chamber, the Blaze reported. Rachel Maddow and MSNBC, breaking, we've got Trump tax returns tonight at 9. Seriously? Seriously. During the interview, Hannity also lamented over the breathless hysteria created by the mainstream media over the Trump-Russia allegations that have thus far proved to be fruitless. It is an illusion factory. It is an echo chamber, Malkin said, of the liberal media, explaining that President Donald Trump doesn't have to address the Washington swamp, but also the mainstream media swamp. People are sick and tired of it. There is so much real news that's going on, Malkin said, calling Rolling Stone's Maddow declaration a slap in the face. Her #1 goal is to bash and obstruct the Trump administration. It has been since day one, Malkin said, and they're going to beat that dead horse until they can't do it anymore. Take a look.
This is a Fox News alert. More breaking news tonight. Fox News has in fact confirmed a report from the Daily Caller that the left-wing gunman who targeted Republicans earlier this week in fact had a list containing GOP congressmen that was found also tonight for months. Yes, the person that has been leading to destroy Trump, tinfoil hat, black helicopter conspiracy theories, Rachel Maddow, would fan the flames of the Trump-Russia collusion narrative. Watch this.
Just last week, Reuters reported on 18 new, previously undisclosed contacts between the Trump campaign and Russian government officials. U.S. investigators, including the FBI, are looking into a Russian citizen in conjunction with one of the incidents on the Trump campaign last year. Maybe he's not as charitable as he says, or maybe he's not really under audit. Like, all of those little things might be true. Okay, that'd be interesting to know. I don't know that that would change the world that much. But what would change the world is if, Russia was interfering in the election, and they weren't doing it on their own, and he was in on it. The FBI director being fired by the president to try to change or stop an FBI investigation into the president's campaign and his top staffers. That is a big freaking deal.
Big freaking deal? Not true. And in a new interview with Rolling Stone magazine, Maddow seems to be backtracking. When asked if she thinks it's, quote, possible the Trump campaign had no knowledge of Russian hacking, she replied, quote, oh, I absolutely believe it's possible. I mean, Russia clearly did this attack, and there's lots of circumstantial evidence that points at lots of unexplained and surreptitious contact between Trump people and Russian people at the time that was happening, but circumstantial evidence is circumstantial evidence. This is a serious thing that needs to be chased down to the end. Here was a reaction. The host of Michelle Malkin Investigates, Michelle Malkin. Even Chris Matthews, after Comey testified, said it's dead. This has gone on for nearly 11 months. What's your reaction to what she says now after all that bad reporting?
Yeah, well, I think that Rachel Maddow must be Reynolds Wrap's #1 consumer, because the tinfoil hat consumption there is like through the roof. But it's not going to convince conspiracy theorists like her to stop. Her #1 goal is to bash and obstruct the Trump administration. It has been from day one, and they're going to beat that dead horse until they can't do it anymore. So, look, I think it's especially ironic too, Sean, that this interview that she gave that you quoted from was in Rolling Stone magazine, which apparently is billing her on its front cover as the most trusted name in news. Could there be a bigger joke from the fake, right? The fake
she actually
news
thinks she's a
purveyors at
reporter,
Rolling
too.
Stone? Yes, right, exactly. And it's like, we've talked about this so many times, Sean. You and I are always transparent about what our biases are, what our ideology is, what our perspective is. We put it all on the table, and what we ask people to do is do their own homework and verify and confirm their own facts. But, you know, anybody can commit journalism. The fact is that there are double standards of the likes of Rolling Stone, which, of course, was founded by Jan Wenner, one of the Democrat Party's biggest donors. It is a propaganda machine for the Democratic Party, just as Rachel Maddow is.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, they've done this for months and months, and what I'm having a hard time coming to grips with here, we have pointed out every Democrat, Mark Warner and Joe Manchin and Dianne Feinstein and then Clapper and Comey and Brennan and Rogers and everybody, no evidence of collusion. But yet they still keep going with the innuendo. And it's gone on for months and months and months. How do they get away with basically lying? That's what it is to their audience, and creating, you know, this breathless hysteria that, you know, oh, maybe impeachment's around the corner. We got him tonight. And then we got him the next night, and then we got him the next night. Never a retraction, never honesty.
Yeah, and you would think that maybe what she told Rolling Stone is something that she should use as a preface in front of every show. But no, I mean, it is an illusion factory, it is an echo chamber, and, you know, Donald Trump doesn't have to just deal with the pre-existing beltway swamp that exists. He has to deal with these festering fever swamps that feed this conspiracy machine, and people are sick and tired of it, Sean. There's so much real news that's going on, and the insult and the slap in the face of Rolling Stone, which, by the way, just this week had to settle a $1.6 million lawsuit by those poor guys at the fraternity at University of Virginia over what? Fake news allegations. This is their coin.
Well, of course, they pay all the money, and now they pick their favorite leftist, left-wing, tinfoil hat conspiracy, black helicopter conspiracy pushing host to say the most trusted name in news. But we are fair and balanced here.
That's right. That's right. And
the people are getting, listen, we're reporting things nobody else does. We're looking at Loretta Lynch, Hillary Clinton, the deep state, things that other people are not. And I know we will, over time, as usual, be proven to be right. Michelle Malkin, thank you so much for being with us.
Mediaite reported that earlier Hannity ridiculed Maddow for suggesting that Venezuelans were protesting in the streets because of President Trump's FEC filing. After showing the clip of her saying it, he added, "I get it. If the dog bites, if the bee stings, if you're feeling sad, if it's gotta be Donald Trump's fault." He then ripped the fully paranoid Maddow for calling Trump a gateway drug for the Ku Klux Klan, and for suggesting that the Trump administration has turned America into a Saddam Hussein-style dictatorship. Sean shines a light on how deranged the media have become. Yeah, I can honestly say that I am no fan of Rachel Maddow.
Welcome back to Hannity. Time for a brand new segment where we call out America's worst liberal conspiracy theorists. Now, of course, week after week, one of the most egregious offenders has been the Destroy Trump propaganda press. Now, right here on Hannity, we'll continue to shine a bright light on just how deranged the media in this country has become, and this is especially true over at NBC. Now, tonight we start in the minutes following James Comey's much-anticipated testimony Even Chris Matthews, Mr. Throw Up His Leg, made this shocking conclusion. Take a look.
The assumption of the critics of the president, of his pursuers, you might say, is that somewhere along the line in the last year, the president had something to do with colluding with the Russians, something to do with the helping hand, encouraging them, feeding their desire to affect the election in some way. Some role they played, some conversation he had with Michael Flynn or Paul Manafort or somewhere. And yet what came apart this morning was that theory, because in two regards. The president said, according to the written testimony of Mr. Comey, go ahead and get anybody's satellite to my operation and nail them. And then he also came across what was fascinating. Comey said that basically Flynn wasn't central to the Russian investigation.
Now, while Chris Matthews admits that the Trump-Russia collusion theories have fallen apart, he also references, if you pay close attention, the president's, quote, pursuers who have been pushing all of these ridiculous black helicopter conspiracies. So, who are the so-called pursuers? Well, Matthews, he needs to look no further than his colleague Rachel Maddow on the same network as probably NBC's top conspiracy theorist. For example, remember when Maddow speculated that Venezuelans were protesting on the streets because of Trump's FEC filing? Watch this.
Venezuelans are enraged anew by this brand new FEC filing from the White House. This is a country that should be a rich country, but people have literally been starving in Venezuela. Somehow in the midst of this incredible economic and political crisis in Venezuela, Venezuela's state-run oil company somewhere found $500,000 to donate to the very, very, very inexplicably overfunded Trump inauguration.
All right, wait a minute. I get it. If the dog bites, if the bee stings, if you're feeling sad, it's got to be Donald Trump's fault. It's pretty unbelievable. Now, there was also the time that Maddow theorized that Trump could be a gateway drug for the Ku Klux Klan. Really? Take a look.
A lot of people who I think are critical of Donald Trump generally look at praise like that from somebody like Donald Duke and wonder if he is a gateway drug, if there is something beyond Donald Trump himself that means a much greater transformation of the Republican Party into something that is going to be new to mainstream politics.
And Maddow, fully paranoid, also casually pushed the conspiracy theory that the Trump administration has turned America into a Saddam Hussein-style dictatorship. Really? Is he killing people like Saddam did? Watch this.
We have never thought of ourselves as a country where, like, Uday and Kusei get to be ministers of whatever they want, right? We don't think of ourselves as a ruling family kind of place, but now that's what we are.
Yeah, Uday and Kusei. Now, of course, Maddow has also pushed some pretty bizarre theories about members of the Trump administration, like people like Vice President Pence. Listen to this totally false accusation. NBC News. Watch.
When the vice president-elect first ran for Congress, he ran on a platform that the government should take back all the money it was spending to combat HIV and AIDS, and the government should instead spend that money on curing people from being gay. Mike Pence ran for Congress saying, let's not try to cure AIDS.
Wow. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching.